Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, Zeta Toys is bringing their own Masterpiece-scaled Seekers to the party. A Masterpiece Skids could be on the way, and is Walmart getting some vintage Beast Wars figures? Today is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2021, and this is episode 423 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that believes Agnes has just been an agent of Shockwave all along. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hello.
Fan artist Apollo, aka Robo Apollo, on Twitter and Instagram.
Hi, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello. Let's talk Transformers.
Welcome back, Apollo. She was on. We had her and Mike Seibert on right before Icon Online. I think Icon Online went pretty well. Apollo, how did that go? It's been about a month. How are things going?
Yeah, well, I'm recovering from the convention because, it was over 11 hours of streaming both days. But I'd say it was a huge success. We had between 150 and 200 viewers watching the whole stream on average, which I consider a huge success for a first-time convention, especially an online convention. Which we ran without, putting any advertising money in or anything. And that was all fan run. And a lot of people had a lot of fun. So, it was really wonderful to put on. And thank you for having me on your show and also Mike a few months ago.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed watching. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I did watch a significant part. Actually, it was funny because my daughter, who's 9 years old and doesn't have that big of an interest in Transformers. Like, I've tried, but she's just not interested. But she really wanted to watch the stream, and she liked watching the voice actors talk about some of their experiences, and she was really interested. Like, for a good portion, like, she watched it more than I did because I got busy during the day, but she was watching it. So
that's fabulous, and we are working slowly on editing the video footage from the event, and we're going to be putting it on YouTube as well, so you'll have a chance to get caught up and watch the rest of the event.
Great. And
in particular, I think the thing I enjoyed most over the weekend was the David Sovolov interview. That was just really cool. He seemed like a really great guy to talk to.
Thank you. I had a blast interviewing him and getting to know him because I talked with him a few different times on occasion on the phone, and we communicated throughout email and whatnot. And I really had fun planning that interview with the questions and gathering fan questions. And he's a really great guy, really honored and to have had the opportunity to talk with him.
Very cool. All right. Well, as soon as that stuff goes up, I'm assuming things will be linked from the website icononline.wordpress.com. So hopefully everyone can find stuff there, and let us know when things go live, and we'll make sure to mention it.
Okay. Yeah, we will. And we're still monitoring the social media accounts, so we'll do a post as well on our social media accounts when those are up too.
Any initial planning on next year? A little, I mean, you've had a month to kind of, decompress. What's happening on next year's? Or are you going to go buy yearly now?
We've talked about it. We haven't had any formal meetings on it, but the group has talked about it. And, we're kind of just seeing how this year is going to go because, the idea of the convention was born out of all the fan conventions being canceled because of the pandemic. And, everyone has a lot more time to contribute to things like this, like official guests and whatnot. So, we're not sure yet if we're going to do it again. I want to personally, but I can't speak for the group if we are going to or not yet.
Well, you certainly impressed a lot of people, I think. So if you did want to do it again, I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch more people to step up and help you if you needed it.
Great, thank you. I appreciate the hearing that.
He didn't mean himself. He's talking about other people.
I don't help anybody.
I'm staring at you, Cybertronian beast. I'm staring.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, Daryl is kind of easy to impress anyway.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, thanks, Daryl.
All right. Well, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. We really appreciate the support that keeps the show going, helps us, keep the lights on, keep the podcast, bits flowing and everything like that. And we are appreciative of our new Donatreons coming on board. So we had a new one joined up just this week called Gray the Color. So I'm glad that Gray the Color is here. I like the color gray. It's fine.
And then maybe when they upgrade, they can be white the color, as like Gandalf the Gray, Gandalf the White.
Yes.
I mean, I gotta take issue with the name. It's not a color. Gray's not a color. It's a shade. This is art. This is art class 101. I don't know if you've. Are you insulting our newest Donatreon, Daryl? Gray the Color becoming a Donatreon, but your name, it irks me.
Maybe that's the joke, Daryl.
It's possible.
We have to know the Pantone shade of gray.
All right, well, Daryl, you can argue with Gray the Color. Maybe you convince them to become Gray the Shade. We'll see. But also, we have one of our longtime Donatreons, number one, Derek. He upgraded to a diecast Donatreon. So thank you, Derek. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so really appreciate it. And Derek's spends a lot of time on our Discord, so we hang out with him in person at conventions when there are in-person conventions.
Yeah, I think since you are the closest, Charles, you're now obligated to go to TFCon Baltimore to say thanks in person.
I think you should just go hang out at his house.
Yeah, that too.
I think he did. He did invite us, so yeah.
He did. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be comfortable enough to fly to Baltimore, even at the end of the year.
Yeah, if I can get vaccine, if I'm vaccinated by October, I'm crossing my fingers. I can make it there.
Derek, if there was a number higher than 1, you'd be that number.
All right. If you'd like to become a Donatreon, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can find the links to sign up. Also, this week we have the next episode in our Transformers Live at Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. This is episode 44, A Mind in the Dark, When All Other Minds Go Out. And this just came out Monday, March 1st. So as you are listening to this, it should already be in your feeds. If you are not subscribed to Empire of Rust, you can go to transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Another thing I wanted to mention is that for our Donatreons, we now are putting the special bonus extended episodes out. They will be out before the regular episode. So we used to have the episode coming out after the regular episode drops, but now we just put out the bonus for episode 44. So that's already out as well for Donatreon. So you can get that on our Patreon page. And then next week, the bonus episode for 45, which is St. Patrick's Wing, that will be out this following week. And that's going to be a week before the regular episode 45 drops. So now your Donatreon perk is actually giving you early access to these episodes, in addition to having lots of bonus extended content. So if you're an Empire of Rust listener, that's maybe it's a little incentive to become a Donatreon. So check that out. And lastly, before we get into the toy news, we have our monthly Toy Hacks $10 gift code drawing, and this is for February. And this is another perk of being a Donatreon. You are automatically entered into this contest, but you can also send in regular entries, and we got one from Steve Wu. So Steve, thank you for sending in this entry. He sent in a picture of Studio Series Hot Rod and Cup. So, and he did a little photoshopping, little comic panel photoshopping. So, thanks, Steve, for sending in your picture, and good luck in the contest. And hopefully, if you get the Toy Hacks gift code, then you can buy some stickers for your Studio Series Hot Rod and Cup.
Some very cool figures. I'm looking for both of them myself.
Yeah. Studio Series has been hard to find for me, so I'm on the lookout. All right, Jeremy, are you ready to do our Toy Hacks drawing?
Yes, I am. Computer, are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
All right, if you could have your assistant give us a random number between 1 and 82.
Computer, give me a random number between 1 and 82.
Your random number between 1 and 82 is 72.
72? That goes to JJ. Congratulations,
All right.
JJ.
New name.
Good job,
Congratulations,
JJ.
JJ.
I'll get in touch with you and get some email information, and we'll get some stickers out to you.
All right, well, let's get into the toys.
First up this week, we've got some new images from, not really new, these are images from Zeta Toys. So the company's not dead. That's great to hear, because Zeta is a really good company right now. And they are putting out images of their Masterpiece Seekers. So these are their Masterpiece-scaled Seekers, and they are their EX 15, 16, and 17. And they might be something you've seen before, because these were put out under the Toy World brand, but never actually released. This goes all the way back to the fact that Toy World had some internal strife. A bunch of designers left, started up Zeta. Now we're getting these. So they've taken their designs from what was Toy World, and they're now putting them out under Zeta. So this is pretty cool. These things look absolutely amazing. You can definitely see some of the changes or differences that they've made when compared to the Masterpiece Seekers. If you look at the jet mode in its and like underneath the bottom undercarriage of it, you really don't see a lot of robot bits there, which is kind of amazing. Yeah. So if you look at like the Masterpiece Seekers, you can basically see a whole bunch of robot bits under there, kind of folded and transformed. This one you don't see a lot of. The only problem I kind of foresee with this issue, or this design, is it's got to be 3 years old now, and a lot's changed in robot and toy design since then. So I hope that Zeta's kind of updating this design to kind of reflect the new changes in toy engineering. The benefit, though, that I can definitely see is we've been getting the prices of what the Masterpiece Seekers are going to be, and Starscream's going to be like $264. Thundercracker's been announced, and he's going to be just under $250. These are some really high prices if you want to do all the Seekers. I really don't see these Zeta Toys ones going to be, even close to that number, maybe around 150. So there's definitely no pricing on this yet, unless it's come out and I've completely missed it. They've got prices on the cone heads, which is kind of crazy. So, all right, the cone heads are priced out at $100 a piece, which I can imagine these ones will be very similar. So, but there is no pricing on the actual Seekers, the original 3 Seekers. But yeah, $100, that'd be amazing. Anyway, Apollo, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on these? You kind of got a thing for a Seeker. What do you think of this? Is is the Masterpiece, the new Masterpiece Starscream price putting you off that, or would you go for a third party one?
Well, I have MP Starscream pre-ordered. When that dropped, I went to Big Bad Toy Store and put in my pre-order right away, and I'm budgeting for that. But these look fabulous to me. I have some third-party figures for Starscream. I did have Meteor for a while.
Okay.
I believe that's Make Toys. that made
Yeah.
that, but I sold it because I just wasn't really happy with his head sculpt, and now I know you can get like alternate heads that are made for it, but so I kind of have some regret selling that, but I really like this. I like the detail in it. It has a lot of the detail that a lot of these smaller figures, third-party figures have. Iron Factory, that's what it reminds me of, but at a larger scale. And so I'm really excited about it. I'd like to see what they look like with their colors. And
Sure.
I'd also like to see some transformation reviews because, with some of these figures that come out, there's, and that's something even with the Masterpiece, like with Optimus, the new one, MP44, there's the struggle is real for the transformation of that
Sure.
figure. And I know that's an official figure, but I'd like to see what this would look like when it transforms, and if there's any problems with the transformations. Something that bothers me about this, though, and this is just me being like nitpicky, is I don't like, where his waist meets the cockpit. It seems really flat, but I'm looking at the Masterpiece and comparing it, and it's flat too, but it just doesn't seem that way as much. And I don't know if that's the camera angle that they're using, or whatnot, but that's the one thing I noticed about this. But I love the paneling on this figure too, and his upper torso seems a little long to me too. But once again, that could just be the camera that they're using, and it's maybe stretching the image vertically.
No, I can see that. I do. I have noticed on these Masterpiece Seekers, and it's been this way since the original, like the 03 Starscream Masterpiece Seeker, then the MP11 model. The waist cockpit meetup is a dead stop. There's no kind of overlap or anything like that, and you'd think that they would do it because of a waist joint, but these figures don't have them. There's no waist joint in the Masterpiece Seekers. So it's unfortunate that you can't have any kind of deviation from that dead stop of a line there, that would indicate that the cockpit does kind of maybe overhang a little bit into the waist a little, because it would give it a little bit more of a natural look if you weren't going to give the figure a waist joint. There's no indication whether this one does have a waist joint or not. It would be really nice if it did. But all the pictures that they have here, they just have them, without any kind of turn to the waist. But again, they are prototypes.
Yeah, well, it'll be cool to see the next revision on these. I'm always curious about new Seeker figures, so this is exciting to me.
Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this jet robot?
I think it looks really good. I agree about the waist thing. That's, it's a shame. I don't really see how they can fix it, because like the part of the cockpit that opens, not like they can't have it where you open it and then close it and it overhangs a little. I don't know how they would fix that, but I really like the look of these. What you mentioned about the bottom of the jet is just, it's amazing that you can see almost, if you look hard, you can see, okay, here's the waist, here's where the chest kind of folds out, but it looks like a jet. And that's really great. And they have marked some pieces that are going to be die cast. That's going to be really cool. The crown is die cast. The little shoulder pads are going to be die cast. It looks like the guns are going to be die cast. So those, and then like what the forearms and the feet. So it's going to be a pretty hefty figure, I think.
I think so.
When it's all decked out and everything. So even though the design might originate a few years ago, I think it's going to sell like hotcakes. People are going to love it. But hopefully they do update some of the things like the joints to some more modern joints. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the colors.
Right on. And Charles, you have had a fairly parallel history with Starscream. You did destroy the previous leader of the Transmissions podcast when they showed their intention to lead the show. You simply blasted them away. Is this like looking in a mirror for you?
Coronation Daryl. This is bad comedy. This is a really good Seeker figure here. I especially like the fact that all the kibble is hidden in jet mode. I really think that's great. That's a really cool design that gets overlooked in the Seekers pretty often. So I really like that. I think at least I didn't have any issues with the waist and the way the cockpit ends there. That didn't bother me. What does bother me, but this is something that kind of happens with all the Seeker designs, like official and unofficial, is I don't like the little turbines in the chest. Like, I think those should just be blank. Like, I mean, I guess the turbines started with, I think, the Dreamwave comic series. They were added in, and then like designers just took that cue going forward. That was like 20 years ago. So it's been part of this design more than it hasn't been, but I still don't like it. But that's my only nitpick. But I do like that they're already showing off the coronation kit with Starscream here. So all he needs is a cape and it'll be complete.
Right on. Okay. Well, Jeremy, we've established Charles is not a fan of the Robo Nipples. What did you bring this week?
I have the official announcement of the Masterpiece movie MPM 12, which is the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. So if you were looking for a more G1-esque movie Optimus Prime, this one might be up your alley. Comes with a Matrix. It's the box nose truck. So he looks like Optimus Prime. He will be a Target exclusive in the U.S., coming out in August 2021. I'm imagining internationally it'll just be wherever you normally get the stuff.
Target exclusives show up at Toys R Us here in Canada.
You have that mystical Toys R Us store.
We do. It's a Canadian exclusive outlet.
But I think for the most part, this looks pretty good. I'd say it's probably 90% there for what I would want in a Masterpiece figure that's like a good compromise between the movie aesthetic and a G1 aesthetic. My problems with it, outside of some of the normal the normal movie stuff with like little bits here and there, like the midsection is just pure movie aesthetic with kind of the pieces that would move in the movie. I don't know. It's just, think of a typical movie Transformer. That's kind of what you got. But the face sculpt, I think, needs a little bit more work. I'm not impressed with the mouth, like the faceplate and how it looks. Maybe it's just a paint job on this one in the pictures. But then there's, in the alt mode, there are these two triangular flaps in the back, right? Like where the cab ends and the smokestacks begin, that look like little ears. And that, I don't know where they're from and what's going on with that. And it's in all the pictures pretty much. So I don't think it's a mistransformation. And it's just, the truck does not have that in the movies as far as I can remember. Outside of that, I'd say it's a pretty good looking figure. So I'm expecting movie fans to jump on this. Now, Charles, what do you think? I know you're a fan of movie Optimuses.
Well, I did like the Bumblebee Optimus Prime design. I thought that was much better, a big improvement over the original Michael Bay film Optimus Prime design. So, this is much more in line with what I would want in an Optimus Prime figure. I still, the midsection is still a little wonky for me, and there is a lot of, it's very, it's not as busy as the other movie designs, but it's still a little bit busy with all on the legs, all the gears and mechanical stuff. It's like the skeleton on the outside, I guess, is that's.
But you're an engineer, you should appreciate that.
Well, I am impressed by how nicely the truck mode looks. Like you don't see all the exposed bits when it's in truck mode. So that's really well done. I agree with you about the face sculpt. I think one thing I particularly don't like in the face sculpt is the like all the extra lines on his faceplate. Like it's not just a solid, single piece. You know, I think that's another artifact of the kind of Michael Bay movie design. Or I shouldn't say Michael Bay. I should say just live action movie designs. that aesthetic of like there can't be any solid panels. Everything has to be like multiple panels meshing together. So that's a bit annoying. I did see the I saw the Studio Series version of this in the store, and I considered picking it up. So maybe if I see this in the store, I passed on it ultimately, but maybe I might pick this up, but we'll see.
Apollo, how about you? What do you think about this?
Well, I saw news about this figure on Twitter. That's usually how I get most of my Transformers news, and I can't unsee the kitty-ness in it. Like, he looks like the truck has cat ears, like legit, and that really bothers me. Like, because I actually do have quite a few Optimus figures too. I agree with you, what you've been saying about the face. I don't like how the face looks on this, and I compare it with, the 3.0 version of Optimus, and obviously that figure is way more expensive than this, but, they're able to pull off just the same character, but he looks so much better. But I believe those are non-transforming figures too. But
theirs are statues.
Yeah, so but it is possible to make his face look better. And something that really bothered me just looking at it is how tiny the Matrix is in that one picture of him holding it in his hands. It just looks so small. And, and I'm looking at the photo of it in his chest, and it looks really square to me. Like, whereas from what I remember the Matrix design, and this is me being really picky, it's more stretched out, more.
The animated Matrix is more stretched out.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's just like a kind of shard-looking thing. It doesn't look like the traditional Matrix at all.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to get this figure just because I don't really like how this looks, for the price. Like, if I were to get a version of this, I would probably go for like the Studio Series, because it's more affordable, and I think other Optimus figures that they've made have been better. So that's my 2 cents.
And I found it's going to be roughly probably 170 US with that currency conversion. Daryl, what are your thoughts?
I think we should definitely deem this Kitty Prime. Definitely on those ears. You can't unsee those ears. I can definitely agree with Charles on the fact that it's a lot of like movie aesthetics. When did what was it, MP? The newest Masterpiece, 47 or 46 or no, it was 44. Yeah, MP44. When did that come out? A couple of years ago. It's just, this is definitely cheaper. I'll give them that. So it seems like it's not that far off from the Studio Series 38 figure that was the good, one of the good Optimuses that they put out in the last little while. I don't know. It doesn't look quite right. It's one of those Optimuses that looks okay when it's in the movies because it's a movie and they're going for the G1 aesthetic, but I'm not going to pay you almost $200 because, it'll be over $200 Canadian. So, I'm not going to pay $200 for a figure that I'm really not super thrilled about. It looks neat. If there's fans for the movie, like the Bumblebee movie, this is definitely one of those ones that you can start a big, one of those high-end collections with, because has there been a Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee, yet in the Masterpiece line?
Yeah,
I think so.
Pretty sure they did one.
Yeah, I think so. So you can have Prime, you can have Bumblebee, and get yourself a Blitzwing, and then you're all set. And maybe a triple changing or a triple changer that doesn't triple change in the Masterpiece line.
MPM7 was Bumblebee. So
there you go. So, it's a cool looking figure. It's neat. It's just, it's not where I'm looking to put my collection right now. And do fans of that movie have that disposable income, you know? I don't know. I mean, I liked it. I don't know. My thought process on this one is all over the board, I think, right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the design was great when we saw it in the movie, and it was just everything that we had wanted in the previous Bay movies and didn't get. So for the brief amount of time we saw it on screen, it was great. This, like, transferring it to a high-end toy, it's not what a lot of us really are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think that is what I got this week. Paula, what do you have?
Well, I've got some exciting news. There are Walmart listings for vintage Beast Wars Transformers line of figures. So we've got listed the Generations Beast Wars Vintage Optimus Primal. We've also got vintage Megatron. And it says T-Rex, which obviously it's Beast Wars Megatron. We've got vintage Rap Trap and also vintage Cheetor. Megatron and Optimus Primal are listed for $49.97, Cheetor for $22.97, and there's no price for Rat Trap. And there are no images yet, but hopefully we'll get more information soon. As someone who was a huge Beast Wars fan when it was airing in the 90s, I'm really excited about this. I never owned any of the Beast Wars toys, but a friend of mine did, and when I'd go to her house, I would play with them, and it's just a lot of, I'm just really excited to see these figures be re-released, especially with all the new stuff coming out with Beast Wars, like, with the Kingdom toys and the comic now, and it's just, it's really exciting to see Beast Wars get some love again.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these G1 Beast Wars toys. The only one of these I've ever had was the Universe re-release of Optimus Primal, which is in Hot Rod colors. So I would like to get at least the Megatron and maybe the Optimus.
Yeah, those would be great for your collection.
I think I have all these still.
Well, then you're set.
I got Primal and Megatron still. I'm pretty sure I've got a Rap Trap buried somewhere. And Cheetor, I've bought and sold a bunch of those over the years, so I may not have a Cheetor, but it wasn't the best toy, so I can probably do without a Cheetor. But they're cool. I'm glad they're coming back out. They're, it's part of that vintage, kind of rebirth that Walmart's doing with Hasbro. Hey, if people are out there buying vintage Beast Wars toys, then that's cool. Maybe they'll continue with the G1 stuff that I've been more fond of. But yeah, I'm happy that some of these figures are coming back out. Maybe they'll eventually re-release Transmetal Megatron again, because I would buy that in a second.
Oh, that would be exciting.
With no gold plastic?
Oh yeah.
Or with whatever the modern gold plastic that doesn't suck would be.
I was in college when Beast Wars came out, so I kind of missed on the toy line. My brother collected the toy line because he was a kid then, but yeah, he got a lot of the Transmetal ones, but he wasn't watching the first season, so a lot of these I never really saw. So maybe if I saw them in Walmart, maybe I'll be tempted.
Well, what do you have this week, Charles?
All right. Well, we've got more Masterpiece Skids news courtesy of Honda's Twitter account.
Honda?
Yeah. So it's the Skids' alt mode is based on a Honda City Turbo car. So I guess Honda is partnering now with Takara, and they are, excited to have their design featured as a Transformer. So Skidz getting the Masterpiece treatment. Skidz is a favorite character of mine, just from the Marvel comics back in the day, and then also More Than Meets the Eye, of course, with the James Roberts comic series, James Roberts and Alex Milne's comic series. So he never got really a lot of love in the cartoon. I think he was in like 2 episodes in the G1 cartoon, and not much else since. He was definitely a big player in the comics and in the US and the UK comics. So this looks like a pretty, faithful to the G1 toy. In the car mode, the one thing that's really kind of weirding me out in the car mode is those giant mirrors on his hood. Like, they seem just really out of place, and they I guess it looks like they fold up and get hidden away in robot mode. So I'm just wondering why. I guess that's on the real car, but they seem really like far out of the way. If you're driving the car, they seem like very difficult to, like, they're not normally you think your mirrors are on the door so you can see them when you're driving, but that's just weird. I don't know. Everything else about it looks cool, but that's bothering me a little bit. I don't know. Jeremy, does this look good to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. I added a link to some scans people did from the Figure King magazine number 277 that just came out as well, that has more of these pictures. I love that little 80s Japanese car aesthetic that I would hate to own these days, but there's just something about it with, like, the way the original Ironhide looked and stuff, just those boxy cars. But I think Skidz looks great, not entirely cartoon accurate in robot mode, but I think it looks good. It looks like the transformation will make sense. I don't know if it's going to come with that little scooter that the third parties did, but there is room in the back. So maybe. I love that you can lift up the hood and it looks like there's an engine in there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, there's a lot of little details on here that I really appreciate. I do hope that they darken the windshield like they did with Gigawatt. Inside the front windshield, you just see all the robot bits. But yeah, this thing, he looks really cool. I really like what they did here.
Cool. Apollo, what do you think of this Skidz figure?
I really like it, and I got curious about the car that's based on, and I did a Google image search, and it looks like there is a model of this car that has the mirrors like that. I really like it. It fits the whole 80s aesthetics, for like how the car even looks. Love the little details, like with the Honda logo on there, and the details in the headlights. I'm now looking at his robot mode. I think it looks good. I like his head sculpt as far as I can tell so far, and and the door wings and the panel lines. I just like to see the next iteration of this prototype.
Yeah, and color and everything. Mm-hmm. All right, and Daryl, what do you think of Skidz? Is this going to make it to your Masterpiece shelf?
Oh, likely. It's a really fun design. Skidz is one of those characters that never ever got any love, except when he got some love. That comic that nobody likes to remember happened. He's a fun character. I really do like Apollo said, like the molded Honda logo into the car, like the toy itself. That's a really big deal, I think. A lot bigger than a lot of other bits and pieces on this toy, because a lot of the other stuff is, on the previous Masterpieces have been, stickers, or they've been kind of little bits of paint and stuff. This is molded right into the damn plastic. Like, it's, Honda, kabang, right there. It's done. A couple of the other pictures that Jeremy gave to us through that Figure King gives us a look at the back of the vehicle, or the back of the figure. And with that, the roof of the car coming down onto the back, it really does kind of close up any of the, the gappiness of it. And that's a big deal too. So it looks pretty good from the back as well. All the main articulation looks like it's there. It does have a waist swivel. So look at that. That's pretty cool. I do like the way that the transformation looks. It looks like Skidz. I mean, would it have been the next Masterpiece G1 figure I would have made? No. There's probably a dozen figures above it that I probably would have done first.
Jazz.
So yeah, there's a number of them, but he's a cool figure. He's fun. I hope to God he doesn't cost an arm and a leg. There's an easy repaint in Crosscut that you can do. Then there's the Diaclone repaint of him in black. There's a lot. Like, they can repaint this thing like at least half a dozen times and get their money's worth out of this. So I'm pretty happy with this one. Oh, they will. Yes, for sure they will. So yeah, I'm definitely picking this up at some point. Happy to follow this one. I wish that they would go back to doing rubber tires on these Masterpiece figures. I know why they don't, and it's frustrating because the Masterpiece should be the pinnacle of the toy engineering, and rubber tires really did make it seem much more of a prestigious, kind of figure when you would get them and open them. The plastic tires make them kind of feel like just another Generations figure with a little bit more articulation and engineering, but I know why they're doing it, and it's a bit of a pain that they don't have rubber tires anymore.
All right, well, that's all our toy topics, so we will move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition on YouTube. And we'll have the audio right here in the show so you can keep listening as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's show off the stuff we got. So Jeremy, we're going to start with you.
I got nothing new. As I mentioned, I think last week, I'm looking for a house, and my toy budget is going to be kind of non-existent for a while. Hopefully by the time this airs, I will have a house, or I'll have entered into an agreement. I'm going to find out tomorrow morning, which will be a couple days ago. I literally dug through one of my bins to find something. I'm sure I've shown this off, but we've been doing this long enough. It's been over 5 years, so I figured that's a statute of limitations. This is the G2 Thundercracker from, I can't remember if it was a subscription service from the Transformers, like from FunPub, or if it was a BotCon exclusive. And the colors in my camera are not really doing it justice here, because this is really a like neon green looking color. But this is like the epitome of every 90s color you can picture all put together on one figure. It is paying homage to, was it an Action Master, I think? A G2
cool.
Action Master?
Mm-hmm.
I believe. But anyway, it's great. It's like that classic Seeker design from the mid 2000s. That I think it was mid 2000s. That was really popular. Got redone a lot of times. I love the mishmash of colors, and I love his little gold head. So this was great. And that's all I got this week.
I got to Walmart. So I mentioned last week I picked up Elita 1 at Walmart, but I actually picked up two lovely ladies at Walmart. So I got Elita 1 and I got Femme Fatale, Black Arachnia. So there she is. It's a really cool figure. She comes with her gun that you see on the Beast Wars show. Her spider legs are very posable. You can turn them around. I've got them in the formation where she has the machine gun mode, when she's in robot mode and all her legs turn into machine guns when she fights the Maximals. But yeah, you can turn them around in lots of different ways and pose them. So it's a very, very well done Black Arachnia figure. And I was lucky to find it at Walmart. I hadn't had much luck with Kingdom figures, so I was happy to find this. And her claw hands kind of mimic 5mm ports, so I think she can hold pretty much any gun in her hands. So that's cool. So yeah, Black Arachnia, G1 nice. Beast War.
No, this is modern.
All right, Daryl, what do you got?
I too went to Walmart this week and was there while they were putting out their new stock. So I saw them just. I was one of those guys that sat there and looked at the what was on the skid there, and I'm like, can you open that thing? And and as they opened it, I bought a new figure. I got
out of the way.
So move. I got Studio Series Wheelie.
Oh, nice.
He's terrible.
Just Wheelie?
Just Wheelie. He does have his little slingshot that comes out, and that's really good. It can only go in one hand because the other hand doesn't have any actual fingers or anything. And but it does have that little slingshot. But he did come with a giant accessory of a Grimlock. This thing is enormous. It's huge. It's a pop can for you.
Wow.
So yeah, he's absolutely massive. And I haven't transformed him. I only opened him just before the show. From what I can tell is there's a lot of the Masterpiece Grimlock in this. They've dumbed down a couple of the bits, maybe taken away a panel or two. But yeah, there's an awful lot of Masterpiece Grimlock in this. So if you missed out on it, I mean, it was the 8th Masterpiece they ever did. And I mean, we're on what, 51 now, maybe 50, 51. So this is a really good representation of that. And it's a fraction of the price. This is a really cool looking figure. I'm looking forward to transforming it probably after the show or during. Who knows? I like to screw around with Charles.
Click, 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 click.
Really,
you screw around with the audience.
What's that clicking sound?
Yeah.
We want Mike to like us.
This is a really cool looking figure. Definitely caught some shit from my wife for buying this mere days away from her due date. So we'll see. We'll see if I make it to next week. What's life if you're not living on the edge?
YOLO.
All right, we're gonna end it with Apollo. Since you haven't been on the show before, like at least on the trips to the store part before, so I imagine you've got a lot to show off.
Oh, yeah.
Walk us through the DTOFs.
Oh, I know. I just built that second DTOF back there by myself last week. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
cool.
I did trip to the store, but it was AKA trip to my mailbox because I haven't had a chance to go to a physical store in a while. eBay's been my go-to store. So I got a few things this last week. The first thing I want to show is a Transformers animated Starscream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
He is super nice. The one thing with it is like the fingers do fall out easily on this side, but other than that, he's a really good looking figure. He's really sturdy. The plastic's really thick on him, unlike a lot of the other newer figures, which I love how newer figures look. You know, I mean, look at all those Seekers I have up there, but like, you know, they don't feel as sturdy as this. So I am very pleased adding this Starscream to my collection. There's a theme to the stuff I got this week. I did get a few non-Starscream things, but there was a lot of Starscream things this week. So I just opened this when I went to go get the mail today. I got this guy, the Mighty Mugs Starscream. So this guy is really fun. Let me see if I can get his head to change. Okay, the struggle's real.
Oh.
So probably be a lot easier outside of the box. I've got a Windblade one of this too, but I saw this on Amazon. It's like $12, and I'm like, okay. So I've had this figure for a while. I bought it because this one here, because I thought it was really funny in the packaging. Like he was sitting, like he was squatting in the packaging, and I'm like, oh, I'll buy it. But this is the Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures Starscream. It looks fine, like from the front, but it has issues. Like this arm cannot, it's like barely can bend. Like the pin, it feels like it's gonna snap. This one's fine. See, this one can rotate. This one's stuck. And then it feels like half a toy, with all the Cyberverse stuff. Look at the empty legs back there. Yeah. But for the Cyberverse toys, because I've bought like 4 different Starscreams from this, and then I've ended up getting rid of them because I just am not happy with them. This is the better one that I found from Cyberverse. So,
was that the one that only transforms like half the way?
I think so. I haven't tried transforming it. I opened this right before this show. It's been sitting in a box on my shelf for half a year, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finally open this thing. So yeah, but I mean, it looks fine, but it's with all the other Cyberverse toys, it has problems. So I really wish they would have made good toys from this instead of whatever you call it.
But aimed at such a young audience.
Yeah. I imagine a kid could break this really easily, though, so...
Yeah, kids deserve good toys.
Yeah.
Just like the adult Transformers fans, kids should get good Transformers
yeah,
toys.
Exactly. They should get something that they can drop, and, I've already dropped this, and it's fine. I dropped it, it fell off my DTOF, and it was fine. So, whoever designed this, give them a raise. So, some other things I got, which is really exciting, was I got to watch you guys host David K during the AMA a few weeks ago. And I did a little trip to his store, and I finally got this. So I am very, very happy that I was able to get this. I missed out on going to Cyberfest in Seattle. I'm in Portland, Oregon, so I could have driven up there. I think he was there in 2018 when they had their in-person event, and I wasn't able to go. I had another obligation at the time, but he was there. But it's got his nifty autograph on the back, so thank you, David K, for selling me this fabulous button.
I hate that he signs the battery compartment. I think I mentioned that at some point, but it's because that's what you're going to be touching more than anything.
Yeah.
Taking the batteries out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be really careful when I change the batteries and make sure my hands are clean and not dry and not sweaty or anything. So, finally, the last thing I got, I had a lot of things I got this week. Part of Iacon Online, Lindsay Rousseau was doing autographs, and I'm actually going to cover up my name on here, my real name. So I got this, and the artwork is by Lidio Ramondelli. So got this super awesome autograph. So thank you, Lindsay Rousseau. And as always, I love Livio's work, and this is super fabulous. So that's my trip to the store.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Well done.
All right, well, that'll do it for this episode of Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with feedback. All right, we did get a little bit of feedback from Twitter, and this is friend of the show and Donatreon Robin Hunt, and also a big Empire of Rust superfan. So Robin asks us, question for the toy show. Do you think Hasbro versions of Masterpiece toys are gone for good, i.e. only Takara Tomy now? I've got a mix of the two, and although I thought Takara Tomy products and paint apps, etc. were superior, the massive price difference made them affordable. Robin, I think you are probably right. At least it looks like Hasbro isn't really bothering with doing its own Masterpiece versions. I mean, it looks like they've really both Hasbro and Takara Tomy have kind of unified their toy lines now. Like that, I think this started even back with Power of the Primes, and they were stopping doing variant paint apps.
Yeah, we don't get the really good paint jobs that Takara did anymore.
Yeah, so I imagine For Masterpiece Toys, like since Hasbro has their Hasbro Pulse online store, they basically just serve as another importer for the Takara versions of Masterpiece figures. They don't really bother with their own Masterpiece anymore. So doesn't seem likely that we're going to get any more Hasbro Masterpiece variants unless they're going to try to do something like really mass market to go into retail stores. But with Toys R Us gone, it seems like there's not really an outlet for the, at least for, Masterpiece that are not studios, the live action movie based Masterpiece figures. So I don't know. Daryl, do you see any hope for Hasbro Masterpieces?
Well, I mean, I think you guys kind of hit it on the head there. I'm looking at my box for Masterpiece RC, and both logos are on it. Takara's is in the top right, and the Hasbro's is in the bottom right. These have been joint ventures for a while now. I don't see them breaking up for anything. It's a money saver, right? I mean, they don't have to produce two different boxes. The figure's the same. It's always been the same as far as Masterpiece goes. Why change the box? They sell them in the same markets. They just don't have to change the box anymore. So they save money, put both logos on it, and then just I think the dedicated Hasbro versions are probably gone. So that's unfortunate for some, I guess. I too liked being able to buy Masterpiece Soundwave in Toys R Us because it came with 4 cassettes as opposed to the Takara version, which only came with 1. So that was they did definitely had some better options for Masterpiece back in the day, but they don't do that anymore. They've been changed. So, but the prices have gone up. So there's that too. I can definitely see the draw to buying the KOs, the Takara Tommy or Tony, I guess it is. Takara Tony?
Tommy.
No, the KOs. So is it Takasa Tony or something like that?
I think, it's something like that.
Yeah, so I can definitely see those being draws because some of these Masterpieces, like we were talking about earlier on in the show, like the Starscream that's coming out, is going to be $265 or something like that, right? So if they produce a KO of it that's, 100 or 150, that's a big savings, right? So, and we've talked about it a long time ago and we haven't done it for a while. These aren't necessarily KOs. They're like factory seconds, right? So they go through the quality control process and they get rejected for whatever reason. And that's how, we all bought those rat bats back in the day, those Masterpiece rat bats, is because they had like stress marks on them or something like that. So,
You all, not, you never asked me.
Y'all. That's what we said.
I still hold a grudge.
Oh, dude. You didn't have a Soundwave. You didn't care. Yeah, so I thought you did. I'm sorry that you didn't, Jeremy.
Still hold a grudge.
All right. But so they're that's my personal opinion on them. I don't believe there's another factory out there that's making their own versions of them because we've lost Wei Zhang, so they're gone now. They would take those designs and they would kind of upgrade them. The ones that are coming out as knockoffs are not really knockoffs. They're getting rejected by the QA process for Takara Tomy. So they get put in some other box and shipped out as a knockoff.
Apollo, did you have any thoughts on Hasbro versus Takara Masterpiece?
I think they're probably only going to just do the Takara Tomy versions. I don't see them doing a Hasbro exclusive version. Like, why would you repeat the effort on making the same figure? It's just easier from like a manufacturing standpoint to just have one, company making them. So I imagine that's what they're going to do moving forward to save money and resources.
I wonder if we'll get English instructions in the Japanese the Takara Masterpiece boxes now. Probably not. All right. Well, that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. Apollo, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you online and find your stuff?
All right, so you can find me at RoboApollo on Twitter and Instagram. I post primarily Transformers fan art, so you can check me out there. I also do commissions as well. There's information about my commissions with prices and whatnot on my accounts there, so hope to see you on Twitter or Instagram sometime.
And everyone check out icononline.wordpress.com and see if I know you said the videos of the convention panels will be up eventually, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and you can also follow the social media accounts for Iacon Online. That's at Iacon Online on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and also Facebook. And we will be doing an announcement on when the videos are up on YouTube. We are slowly working through the process of editing those still.
Aren't you running a contest on your Twitter right now, Apollo?
Yeah, so I am very close to 900 followers. I think I am 28 away. I am going to be doing a free bust commission for and it's going to be randomized once I hit 900 followers. So you have to like the tweet and retweet the tweet and comment on the tweet and follow me. So check that out. I've been retweeting that tweet with the information, frequently. So please enter because you'll get free art, possibly if you are randomly selected as the winner. And, I just like giving back to the community, in that way. And yeah, so that's my giveaway.
All right. All right. And as always, at the end of the show, we thank our Masterpiece Donatrions. So thank you to John 4X Levengood and Dinobot Maximize. And we still have merchandise on our TeePublic store. That's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. So anything you buy from TeePublic through our link gives us some support. And, of course, we've got all our Transmissions merchandise there on TeePublic. So transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And that's it. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
All right. So we can get started. I don't know. I might need a couple of takes for this, Daryl. We'll see how this goes.
Just remember to pause and sing don't say sing, but actually sing. Okay, that's right.
I think I can do it.
Sing your heart out, little bird.
Fan artist up. Oh, I was going to.
Okay, go for it. Sorry.
That's okay. All right. I think Apollo just made the outtakes. We'll see. We'll see what Mike does.
Yay. I'm official.
We were speculating that since you're close to Canada, you cross the border to mail it.
I just drove 7 hours to mail this to you, Daryl. Opportunity to get people to talk to me because he's a corgi, and like people are like, "Oh, how cute! Can I pet your dog?" And I'm like, "Oh, do you have this figure by chance?" And they go and grab me one from the back, and then I'm like, "I need two." So they said,
"You're a good scalper."
Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, I probably have to sell one of my kids to pay for that.
I almost want to buy one of those toilet robots just to is to have a permanently
I might
seated
have
wheelie.
one of those bods if you
yeah,
want
like
me
a
to
bot
mail
bot?
it to you. Like, I might have one.
Wonder. Oh my! You can make him reach around like he's wiping his ass.
And number one, Derek.
No, he's die cast. He's not Masterpiece yet.
Oh, never mind. Mike knows that out.
We still like him though. He's still number one, Derek.
He's still good. He's still good.
Just not quite as number one as John and Dinobot. Sorry.
That might be another outtake. We'll see.
I'm sure.